Hello guys, welcome back. So today we are going to start with the topic determinants. Now what do you understand by determinants? How to calculate determinants? What are the values that are we offering? And how to we actually mean or we need to calculate why it is needed to calculate with the determinant. So not just because it's a topic or we have to do with the mathematics. No, it has a lot of values that you need to understand. It will always help you in calculation with many of the things and makes your calculation bit more easier. Okay, so now going on with the topic. So now, first of all, I'll explain you how to calculate with determinants and what is its, what do we understand it by the sign, how, what are the major differences between matrices and determinants, basically the sign and the element properties also. Okay, so now the very first thing, for example, if I have a 2, 4, 3, 6 element, okay, so basically determinant I have to calculate for this. So if I am naming it as a is equal to this, then how will I calculate with determinant? Determinant sign is this. These two lines are represented as the sign of determinant. Okay, now how will we calculate? We'll take up with the first value 2, eliminate with the row and the column, and then multiply it by the leftover this element. This is specially for 2 cross 2 matrix. Okay, so basically 2 cross 2 determinant or 2 cross 2 value. So this here we will have a determinant of 12. So answer is our 12. Now how to calculate a determinant in 3 cross 3 matrix? It becomes a bit different from that of 2 cross 2 matrix. And yes, if I'm expanding the value through second row, that is row 1, row 2 or column 1 or column 2 in any of the matrices, or like a 3 cross 3 matrix also, I will receive same value. So you have to only expand one row, one column, one row or one column, or row 2 or row column 2, any just one row or one column you will expand it, and you will be able to find determinant value. Okay, so you will not have to like verify it that okay I'm getting same value or not. No, you will get same value only. Okay, so now I'll explain you determinant of a. If I have to find out for like if a is a, B, C, D, E, F, G, H and I. Okay, so I'm taking with this. Now if I have to find out with, I'm only expanding with row 1. I will explain you with row 2 and row 3 also. Okay, first of all, whenever you are taking up with determinant expansion, you need to keep in mind in that you will be taking up diamond values as negative. How will be taking up as diamond values as negative? That is, see here, I'm taking first element A. Okay, so what I'll do is eliminate with the row, eliminate with the column, and then E into I, EI minus. When we are moving from this element to this element, you will always take this element and this element for multiplication. You will not take this and this. Okay, you will multiply this element with this element and this element with this element. So it will be HF. Next value is minus of B. Okay, not plus B, minus of B. If your B is already negative, then minus of minus B. Okay, minus sign will be there with the second element of first row, that is the diamond element. Okay, so maintain that thing in your mind, that you have to take all the diamond values as negative whenever you are multiplying it. Okay, so now taking up with the values, eliminating with the row and the column. So Di minus Gf, okay, plus C, it's not the diamond element, so plus C, then eliminating the column and the row, Dh minus Ge. So this will be the value. So this and when I'll solve it, I'll get a single answer, that is a single numbers element. So that will be my answer. Okay, now whenever you are going through any of the determinants and you receive like A is your element in the determinant, and you are receiving A element only, that means you are that is a singular matrix. Okay, so you need not worry with that. Now coming on to with the properties. Property number 1, whenever you are expanding any one of the rows that I have explained you just now, that if you are expanding row 1, 2 or 3 or column 1 or 2 or 3, you will be getting same values. You have to just be careful with the diamond values and calculation part. Okay, so you will always be taking this if you are expanding, for example, with row 2. Okay, so with D element, right, you are writing D, and then you will eliminate with the row and the column. So you will be taking B multiplied by I and minus H multiplied by C. Okay, so always remember that upper one and the lower one is always, and I'll always suggest you to expand through rows only, not through columns, because it creates a confusion whenever you are calculating with the help of columns. Okay, so just go with the help of rows only. Now if you interchange any two rows in the value of determinant, for example, if you see that okay, I find it easier to work with row 2 making it as row 1, then your determinant will answer of determinant will change its value, actually not value but the sign will change. So that is a major property, that if you are interchanging with any two rows, okay, then your there will be a one negative sign that will be multiplied, and if you are again doing it, then again one negative sign will be multiplied. Okay, then third property, that if you are having any two rows as same, that is here, for example, if I say that I have A, B, C and A, B and C, D, E and F. So these two rows are identical, right? So my determinant value will be 0 here. Now next, fourth value, if like fourth property, that if I multiply row 1, any one row with the value of k, a constant, then my determinant will also be multiplied by k. Okay, once. That is, if I am multiplying it, for example, with 2, 2 and 2, all the row 1 is multiplied by 2, then the determinant, the answer of determinant will also be multiplied by 2 whatsoever, and then multiplied by 2. So that will be my answer. Okay, so these are some major properties, and then we have two more properties, that is, for example, I am given like A plus B, C plus D and E plus F, and then we are having 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, like this I am given a determinant and the upper values are a sum of two values. Then I can make this as a sum of two different determinants, wherein I can write A, C and E, and the other one will be B, F, and this was, I think, D. It was B, D, F, and then 1, 1, 5, 2, 3 and 4. So this will be my another element determinant. So whenever I am given a determinant with the sum of two values here, so I can break it in form of two different determinants. Okay, then another property, that is, if for example my two determinants are equivalent, okay, that is, for example, 2, 3, 4 and 4, 6, 8. So if they are similar, equivalent to each other, so this value of determinant and this value of determinant will be same, so it will not change. So these are some of the properties of determinants. And yes, there is a 3-marker question on properties of determinants, 3 or 4 marker questions, where you have to only apply with the properties for solving up with the determinants. Okay, so be careful with the properties. Now coming on to next topic for determinants. How to find the area of triangle when we are working with determinants? There are two types when we can solve the area of determinant. Very first thing is whenever I am given A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. For example, this is my determinant. How will I calculate it? Half. Okay, half. I will take half. Or what I can do is I'll just work with XYZ. Okay. For example, I'll explain you in easier way. X1, X2, Y1, X2, Y2, X3, Y3. For example, these are the 3 points that I am having on my determinant. Okay, so how will I calculate, sorry, not on determinant, in triangle, these are 3 coordinates of my triangle. So how will I calculate it? Half. Okay, taking half in bracket x1, then value of y2 minus y3 plus x2 value of y3 minus y1, then plus x3 where I am subtracting with y1 minus y3. Okay, so this will be my area of triangle. When I'll solve it, I'll get the area of triangle. I'm using only the coordinates of the triangle. Now, next formula that I'll use is through the help of determinant. How do I calculate it? Now, just see, I can represent coordinates like this: x1, x2 and x3, y1, y2 and y3. Now you must be wondering that how will I solve this? It's a 2 cross, like we are having 3 rows and 2 columns, that is a 3 cross 2 it will be. So I will take 1 1 1 here and solve it easily. Now this when I solve the determinant, I'll receive the value. Just remember, you have to multiply it by half also. Okay, so it will be area of my triangle. Now this is all about area of triangle. It's like you can have a question on this for 2 marks or 3 marks. There can be a question, but it's not necessary that you will always have a question. But properties of determinant always be there in exam, so it's very much important for us to understand what actually are they and how do we calculate it. Now the next important topic that we are going to cover is minors and cofactors. Okay, so minors and cofactors is another important topic. Now how do we calculate with minors and cofactors? There is a very little difference in calculating with minors and cofactors. For example, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H and I am taking again this determinant. Now how will I calculate with minors? As I told you that we take in diamond elements as negative. Okay, so in minor, whenever we need to calculate with minor and cofactor, I'll explain you A11. Like we are taking elements inside the brackets as A11, right? So sign of cofactor is capital A and 11 is the number, the element for which we are calculating cofactor, and M11 is for minors. Okay, so first I will be calculating for M11 and you will understand what is the major difference. For A11 you will not understand, but I'll do with this negative one so that you get to understand how do we calculate it. Now taking A11, eliminate the row and the column. You will not take this A. Okay, so what you will do is E into I minus H into F. Okay, so this will be my minor, and cofactor will be again E into I minus H into F. So this is the same value. Okay, so what is the difference? Now you will understand when we will calculate for the second one. M12. As this is a negative one, I will not take negative sign here. It will be eliminating the column and the row, D into I minus G into F. Okay, now A12 will be, now I will take up with the negative sign, that is I will take a bracket and put a minus sign here because it's a diamond element. So taking up again, eliminating with the row and the column, di minus gf, nothing else will change. You will just put on with the minus sign before calculating up with the value. So this is the difference between minors and cofactors. In minors we do not have to take in care with the sign, but in cofactors we take in care with the signs. Now there's a 1 or 2 marker question that is asked that calculate minors and cofactors, but cofactors are required to calculate adjoint of A, that is used in calculation of inverse. Okay, so as we have done in matrices, that inverse can be we can find out inverse with the help of elementary row operation, and there's another formula that we use with the help of determinants. So we'll be doing it now here. Now again I'll take up with the same example: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H and I. Now how do I calculate with adjoint of A? What I have to do is, adjoint A is equal to transpose of all the cofactors. Okay, so how do I do this? A11 is equal to, I'll just do with first and second one, and then you will understand. A13, A12, A21, A22, A23, A231, A32 and A33. Okay, so this first one will be eliminating A, row, column, column and row, EI minus HF, EI minus HF. Then second one will be DI minus GF, and you will take in care with the sign, so negative sign out of this. Now this will be the value, so you have to calculate with this value and put on here. Okay, if you are getting, for example, this second value is on calculating of DI minus GF, you get a minus 4, but remember you have to take in care with the negative sign also, so it will be plus of 4. Okay, so your answer becomes plus 4. And then what you have to do is, after taking in all the cofactors, you have to make a transpose of this. Okay, so it will be A11, A21, A31, A12, A13, A22, A23, A32, A33. So this will be my adjoint of A. Okay, so this becomes my adjoint A here, and this is my adjoint. Okay, now how do I find with inverse? A inverse, calculating, there is a 6 marker question mostly for adjoint A. Okay, that is calculate A inverse with the help of determinant. So using with the determinant formula, what is the A inverse? How do we calculate it? 1 upon determinant of A into adjoint A. Now as you know, we have just understood how do we calculate with adjoint A, and we have also understood how to calculate with determinant of A. So just you have to multiply, you have to calculate with adjoint A here. Okay, and then you will have to multiply its value. The answer that you receive is A inverse. You have to not solve that determinant that you will get after calculation. That itself will be inverse of A, because you have to find out that determinant matrix that is there for A inverse. Okay, that will be in directly known as the matrix for A inverse. Okay, so that will be your answer for A inverse. Now that's all. Now we'll do some properties for adjoint A. Okay, so just remember, if you are multiplying A with adjoint A, will be equal to adjoint A multiplied by A. Okay, which will be equal to determinant of A into I. Another, if your determinant A is 0. So just remember that matrix will be singular matrix. If your determinant of A is not equal to 0, your matrix will be a square determinant matrix. Okay. So then last point, whenever you are calculating for a square matrix, if square matrix is invertible, then matrix will not be singular at all. Okay. And one property for triangles also I forgot to tell you. Triangles, whenever you are calculating determinant in triangles, if the determinant value comes out to be 0, then your triangle is like we said collinear, right? Whenever there are 3 points in same line, so it will be collinear whenever you are having determinant as 0. So that's all with this chapter. Just remember that you have to practice with the properties so that you are through with them, because there's a mostly 4-marker question that is asked in exams. Okay. And just remember with the adjoint too, how do we calculate it? Just keep in mind, or you can just draw down with the short notes that I have explained you, which will make it easier. Basically, it will make you understand in a better way that how do we calculate with determinants. That's all with this. Thank you very much.